The Crooked Epic 1 in 1. The Inn of Maniacal Madness 4. Ted the Cave 4A 1. Alex had been unable to answer Ahmed's riddle. It was Ted's prevailing ambition to utilize the restaurant which sat next door to the rendezvous on the unlit corner of Hobb to recover his composure under the supervision of more people than the one who had caught them snooping, as well as their inherited allegiance to America as probable menaces or spies. It had also conversely been revealed that their capture was going to be a prolonged endeavor and performed by one newly introduced madman whose motives were beyond certainty and at least highly villainously meticulous. The resulting circumstance was this one, where they were posed with a simple choice. Either submit immediately to laws and systems of judgment decided by Ahmed and his coup of illegal immigrants and refugees, or run away and try to fend for themselves against a populated city. It was a city whose constituents could react more threateningly as a whole, no matter how carefully the brothers attempted to explain themselves. The subterranean occupants of Hobb claimed unknown faction to the brothers, except that Ahmed had pointed out their danger. They spoke languages that the brothers did not know and lived in an undiscovered habitat probably designed by forces that could rebel against America. In short, their choices were neither promising nor hopeful, unless Alex and Ted could work together to manifest the wile which would outmaneuver their foes. However, the compounded duress multiplied under Alex's complicity with Ahmed's manipulation. Ahmed easily convinced Alex that there was a hotel where the owner would provide shelter for the brothers past the restaurant for the remainder of the night. So they both were led far away from the toy shop, behind and past the restaurant which Ted's instincts had kept them from entering down the road first. Across it, after the guardrail ended, they walked past a small waterside park with the bridge and gazebo. Looking out at the lake in the darkness of the night, Ted remembered the amulet he had kept in his pocket. Ahmed began speaking again about warnings of being caught in Hobb and telling the boys that everything was a trap to outsiders, even though the toy shop and restaurant existed to service their population. As they neared the end of the road, Ted saw how the T section had a restaurant and bar to the right with lights on inside and muffled voices that vibrated against the window and through the door. People at tables and with pitchers on bar stools with glasses, a bartender and barback, and a bouncer all were visible through the window. Some looked like soldiers, others like ordinary citizens with nothing else remarkable about them. Beyond the bar were more closed shops and marketplaces, and as they got closer to the intersection, they saw how there were more streets to the right also. To the left, they saw residential houses, some big and some small, lined both sides of the road. The side that bordered the lake had larger houses and manors, mansions, and estates. To the left, the pavilion itself was white and bore resemblance to the top of the nation's Capitol building, a giant drum atop a lantern and base adorned with timber and pillars. It was across a 50-foot bridge and was 30 feet high, 40 feet in diameter. The bridge connected to the park in the middle of 4 giant willow trees which stood, hovering like figures holding an archaic ceremonial ritual along the lake shore. Almost to the intersection, right as they were passing the bridge to the gazebo, a commotion was raised noisily from near the statue of the Golden Man between the gazebo's bridge and the gallows and courtyard. Footsteps approached beneath shadows, and it was not until they were within 20 feet and growing in a decibel that Ahmed and Alex had any reaction. As they were closing in, it became apparent that this was the sound of 2 people running, and where the night was camouflaging their movements indicated them wearing black. In apprehensive distress, Ted reached into his pocket to grab onto the amulet and felt its sharp edges, surprisingly warm. When the 2 men emerged into the glow of a nearby street lamp, Alex and Ted identified them. They were the 2 FBI agents they had seen at their house in Weir, and who had followed them into the graveyard earlier. The amulet in his hand became hotter and surpassed his body temperature. Pain shot through his arm from the diamond. The last thing he heard was Alex shouting his name, and he managed to see Ahmed grab Al away from him with an alarmed expression before everything turned bright white, blinding him. Ted blacked out.